Welcome to yet another fucking edition of Flash Fried. I'm getting kind of sick of it, honestly, because...
You're getting sick of Flash Fried?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, just been like, not many good fucking stories for it, honestly. It's kind of a slow news week. I was able to scrounge up some stuff I think we can make entertaining.
Scrounge off something, ball.
Scrounge up a little bit of this and that.
I mean, why do you think the news week has been so slow?
I don't know. It's been slow for the last couple weeks. I think you had a theory outside.
Yeah, I think the whole Mueller report, kind of like the air getting let out of that, has left the news media with like, what do we cover?
They got a flat tire now. Like,
what do we do? How do we fill all this Russiagate time?
I don't know. Can we make something else up? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think maybe just the world in general is weary of that. So it's not really it's not making news anymore. Everybody's just chilling right now.
Live in a weary world now.
Everyone's just kind of sitting at home. Like,
all the psychos are
y'all
want to
go create some news or something? And then people are like, nah, I don't feel like it. Who even
Businesses
cares
are like,
anymore?
want to make any of these big announcements in the next week or two? They're like, nah, let's wait. Let's sit on it.
Nah, not
you
right
know what,
now.
though?
Elon Musk, you want to invent a rocket that flies, 80 billion men to the moon instantly? Nah.
Nah, I don't want to do it.
Nah.
It's just nothing. Everyone's just like, eh.
How could I post Russiagate,
Without Russiagate there to dominate the news cycle, everyone just feels disempowered. They don't even want to do anything.
I just want you to know, TJ, if you cover the Disneyverse any further, though, dude, as a stockholder, you have to disclose that, TJ.
That is true.
Oh, okay.
You do have to disclose that.
You have to
know
disclose
that
that
FTC
you...
rules, TJ.
All right. I guess I'll have to keep that in mind.
TJ owns stock
TJ
in
the
Disney.
stock mogul.
So just wait.
Can we get a screen,
The
TJ?
Disneyverse.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to.
Jesus.
It's
deprive
coming,
you of your
dude. Pretty
screen.
soon it's going to be Comcast and Disney.
Shall I do this? Shall I do the show gagged as well as blindfolded, TJ?
Yeah, sure.
Gagged as well as blindfolded, TJ?
Yeah, I'm
Why
fine.
not hog tie me as well?
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Let's
Sure
do
you
it.
would be fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine. Whatever you want to do, Paul. Whatever your artistic
Let's
vision
fucking
is.
hog
My
tie,
vision?
Paul.
Yeah, your vision.
You mean I get to make my vision?
Yeah, go ahead.
Where's the bitches with the big titties and the dicks too? I want big tits and a dick.
We don't have the budget for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you said I got to make my vision.
Yeah, but you have to pay for it.
I want 3 big-breasted transsexuals
Right.
swinging their big dicks in unison, helicoptering them in the back during the show.
Flash fried.
That's right. Ooh, yeah.
And I want like an actual
They're the flashers,
old
we're
organ.
the friars.
You know what I mean? So they can like I want a big pipe organ installed
I know this
in
is
here.
I know this is your vision, but
Yeah.
can it be played by a skeleton?
Maybe. I mean, if he has a big old dick.
No, dude, it's being played by
Helicoptering in the
another
wind.
transsexual with their
Oh,
penis.
so everything has to have a dick.
It's
I need
yeah.
3 big-breasted transsexuals.
Well, I thought that was
We
separate
need,
from
we
the
need
organ.
4 because there's gonna be one playing the fucking organ
Oh,
with
that's
their
right.
penis.
No. The organ player is going to be an absurdly old woman,
Okay.
utterly naked,
Right.
except for a sign that says "kick me" on her back. That's my vision.
Okay.
Wow.
I like it. I think it's a good direction. So I guess even though it's kind of a slow news week, whatever,
It's never a slow news week in my vision,
I don't think
TJ.
it's slow, TJ.
it's kind of slow. YouTube mistakenly flags Notre Dame Cathedral fire videos as 9/11 conspiracy.
What?
YouTube says its anti-misinformation tool made the wrong call on Monday.
So whenever something big happens, is YouTube just like looking for people to censor about it?
Yeah.
They're just out there. We got some big happened. We got to shut down some channel for it.
YouTube apologized on Monday for mistakenly linking the massive fire at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris to the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attack. The video giant said a new tool for battling misinformation made the wrong call when it displayed text from Encyclopedia Britannica about 9/11 in several videos about the iconic cathedral burning on Monday. We are deeply saddened by the ongoing fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral, a YouTube spokesperson said. These panels are triggered algorithmically, and our systems sometimes make the wrong call. You don't fucking say. We are disabling these panels for live streams related to the fire.
Man, if any other company other than a social media tech company fucked up and failed as much as YouTube did, they'd be parceled out and sold off and no longer exist. YouTube can't handle shit correctly.
No.
Like it's trying to rebuild itself as a place where news is discussed and news happens and people talk about the news, and they're censoring the news out from under people.
Oh my God! Well, the news creators have some of the hardest times of it because their content, whether it's conspiracy theories or not, is constantly labeled so.
It can't be monetized at all.
Yeah, and it's difficult to monetize. If you bring
CNN
up
is monetized,
certain
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look,
A
it's,
CNN coverage of the same event would be monetized.
They're basically greenlisted on these
Right.
platforms.
YouTube had this great burgeoning alternative media happening on its platform, and obviously some of them were very right wing, some of them were very left wing, some of them were very wingnut and out there. But it was this big burgeoning community, and YouTube has pretty much done everything in its power to slow that and to foist in our faces the MSNBCs and CNNs and even Fox News. Just as long as you're mainstream.
Well, these algorithms. The reality is that
you get an exception from the
They're
algorithm.
fucking
if you're a
everybody.
giant
well, no,
corporation.
yeah, they're fucking. Not only fucking everybody. Like this
Well,
happens
they
all
ain't
the time.
fucking the giant corps.
Well, this is par for the course, though. Well, those giant corporations are also the people that spend money on advertising.
I don't
with
consider
them.
those part of everybody. See,
They
I'm,
are,
I'm,
though.
I'm of that old school pre Citizens United mind of that corporations are not people.
Well, your worldview is becoming obsolete.
Yep, I know. I'm an old man once again.
Old man yells at clouds.
And you probably have seen this stuff. It says YouTube introduced.
YouTube has done this
Yeah.
to a few of our videos. Like when we did the vaccine thing, they had the vaccine article from Britannica there that was linked to the controversy and stuff.
We're gonna counteract your misinformation, buddy.
Yeah. Even though we were actually on their side on that one. Whatever.
Who cares?
YouTube introduced the fact-checking feature last year to stem the spread of conspiracy theories, including those that question the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center
Well,
in
that's
New York.
not going to work because all the people have to do is like, look, you might see below this video that there's some disclaimer. That's all lies by corporations to keep you from knowing the truth.
Yeah, as if a 9/11 truther is going to see an Encyclopedia Britannica article about 9/11 and be like, "Oh, I was wrong."
Well, what they're going to say is like, well, there's people that might be on the fence or they don't know any better, and or
guess.
they're just looking for information. And they see this is the truth, actually.
The algorithm is supposed to display information panels with links to third-party sources, including Encyclopedia Britannica and Wikipedia, while displaying videos on subjects linked to conspiracies, according to the company. So we've all seen it. You guys have seen it before, right? Where
of
you go
course.
to a video and
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
this
yeah.
weird little article linked under it because they talked about some subject that's contentious.
Another thing you see is like if you watch, let's say, a Russian Today video, it said this is funded partially by the Russian government. If
Right.
you see PBS, this is funded by the U.S., partially by the U.S. government.
I don't really mind that, but I want it to be extended out to all corporate sponsorships then.
Yeah.
I'm fine with there being like an accountability panel below every fucking video where I can click on it and see which corporations funded it. Sure. I'm fine with that. Like, I think these steps are like, I think YouTube is actually trying to make steps to deal with the changing nature of social media and the changing nature of our world and the spread of misinformation being quicker and on a larger scale than ever before.
Right.
But once again, their attempts are ham-fisted.
Well, even with the Notre Dame Cathedral thing, there was people already spreading conspiracy theories that Muslims had basically burned down the
Satanists
Notre
had
Dame.
done it. Atheists had done it.
Yeah, so like the misinformation, like anytime there's a big event now, there's going to be conspiracy theories that are instantly going to leak
they're
out of that.
yeah, it's just instantaneous. Another thing about Notre Dame, Macron sets 5-year deadline to restore Notre Dame. Kind of overly ambitious for a structure
Yeah.
that took 200 years to build. in the
Most
first
people are
place.
saying it's going to take decades to rebuild
Well,
it.
yeah. I mean,
Nearly $1 billion in donations have poured in for the vast restoration of the fire-ravaged Notre Dame Cathedral, but a pledge by French President Emmanuel Macron that it will be completed within 5 years was facing accusations of being wildly off track.
why are people donating to have a fucking Catholic cathedral rebuilt? Couldn't they just like auction off some art they have in the basement of the Vatican and pay for the fucking renovations of this?
What I've seen
I
a
don't
lot of
know.
Like,
people
why
say-
does the church come with its handout to people when one of their fucking buildings burned down?
Well, in fairness to them, I have not heard them saying that. It was just a bunch of billionaires and other rich people that pledged money, and they're saying it's like a symbol of France and all that kind of stuff. I don't really know if they necessarily said, hey, we want donations, but people have said they want to put up money to fix
So
it.
Macron says, "We will rebuild the cathedral to be even more beautiful, and I want it to be finished within 5 years." Experts have said, however, that the ambitious timeline appears insufficient for such a massive operation. Even the French Prime Minister, Edouard Philippe, while supporting the government timeline, acknowledged in an address Wednesday that it will be difficult. This is obviously an immense challenge, a historic responsibility, blah, 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 blah.
It's not going to be done in 5 years.
No less than 15
Look,
years.
this is
colossal
a
task.
this is a
says,
political-
an architect.
This is a political statement. Clearly, I mean, if you actually look to the people who are experts on this, they're saying, no, this is probably going to take 15 to 20 years to be rebuilt.
Well, that's this prominent French conservation architect, Pierluigi Pericolo, said it's going to be 15 years.
Maybe Macron is going to call Elon Musk.
Oh.
See,
Build
that's
the
the-
techno.
Yep.
What would it be?
That's the X factor
Technodome or something.
No, he doesn't want to. He wants to restore it, but use like some kind of nano restoration robot. Elon, invent it.
I actually read that one of the Assassin's Creed games that actually had modeled the Notre Dame Cathedral was actually going to be helpful in rebuilding it.
Interesting.
That's cool.
So I mean, look, it might take maybe 5 years is
So
possible.
for those of you
but
cynics who
probably
say,
not.
that video games do not contribute to society,
There you
you've
go.
just been proven wrong
Wrong.
yet again, faggots. All right, so this is a story. Dismay as Trump vetoes bill to end U.S. support for war in Yemen. Politicians decry Trump's decision to continue U.S. involvement in it as a cynical move and a missed opportunity for humanitarian help. Yeah, because Trump is such a fucking humanitarian.
Like, what about Trump led
Shocking.
anybody to believe that he wasn't going to be a status quo hawk on war?
Donald Trump has vetoed a bill passed by Congress to end U.S. military assistance in Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen. The Senate had passed a bipartisan resolution on the 13th of March in a 54 to 46 vote, in a move that was largely seen as a rebuke of Trump's alliance with the Saudi forces leading military action in Yemen. The House voted on the resolution in early April, passing it with 247 votes to 175 votes. This resolution is an unnecessary, dangerous attempt to weaken my constitutional authorities, endangering the lives of American citizens and brave service members, both today and in the future, Trump
Bullshit.
wrote in explaining
Yeah.
his veto. Okay, here's the actual reason. Maybe it's because you sell weapons and nuclear technology
Tens of
to
billions.
fucking Saudi Arabia, you sack of shit.
Tens of billions of dollars.
And you don't give a fuck if if there's a genocide going on. Like, this war in Yemen is a fucking bunch of bullshit. It's a fucking genocide in Yemen. There's a genocide going on in Yemen. Bernie Sanders championed this bill through the Senate and through the House. Introduced that shit in the fucking Senate. Passes with obviously not huge, overwhelming bipartisan support, but
Reasonable support.
a lot of Republicans did support the measure and say, yeah, why the fuck are we helping Saudi Arabia massacre people in Yemen?
Remember, there was a civil war in Yemen.
And this sack of fucking fat, disgusting shit, who once again sells weapons to the Saudis and who's been caught selling nuclear technology to the fucking Saudis, who, by the way, that's the country where most of the 9/11 hijackers came from, while he pretends to fucking cry about 9/11, while you gullible Republican dupes fucking sit there and act like he actually gives a fuck. He does not give a fuck about anything other than his own fucking agenda, and yeah, so that's why he vetoed this
Well,
bill.
look,
It had nothing to do with what about saying Saudi Arabia is not allowed to massacre people in Yemen harms the fucking citizens of this country?
But I think you have to set the stage for that too. I mean, a lot of people
Go ahead.
talking about this. Like, look, there was a civil war in Yemen, but Yemen's just an indicator. One of these indicator countries, like Syria, that was embroiled in civil war conflict. Repressive government. The leader of that country was nearly killed.
Mm-hmm.
He took refuge in Saudi Arabia, and then basically to restore a tyrannical government. It's like, hey, we'll send these people back, and then of course Saudi Arabia started basically launching fucking military campaigns and bombings using U.S. Weaponry, killing tons of people. And now there's basically a genocide going on. We're basically supplying the fucking weapons through Saudi Arabia. It's basically just a proxy war.
There are some citizens that would be negatively affected by us pulling out of this, though, TJ.
Oh, like Lockheed Martin,
Yeah,
our
the
great
rich-
citizen Lockheed Martin,
the
and,
rich, people that own all of the big logistics corporations and all of the big weapons manufacturing
yeah, I
corporations.
guess that it would harm them.
All of the munitions manufacturers.
Well, it just seems like time and time again, the poorest countries, all these people have to just basically be slaughtered.
All of the
You know what I
fucking subcontractors that do work for the Pentagon, all of those people probably would suffer a hit to their bottom line.
73% of the world's dictatorships are backed by the U.S. government, so why should this be a surprise to anybody, right?
Well, yeah, dude. I've seen different documentarians go to Yemen, and you basically just look at these fucking wars and these burnt out cars and buildings, and you see a bunch of bombs that are made in America, and it's like, how can you not say that we're in some way responsible for this?
David Miliband, the former British Foreign Secretary who now heads the International Rescue Committee, denounced the veto as morally wrong and strategically wrong-headed. In a statement, he said Yemen was at a breaking point with 10 million people on the brink of famine.
Right. And I mean, if you look at some
It's
pictures
horrible.
out of
It
there.
sounds like freedom to me.
I mean, people, like,
Well, that's why there was a civil war. People were just
people
dying.
are literally starving to death. in
They were
Yemen.
starving. They don't have water. They don't have all these things. That's what I'm saying.
This is not even, we're not even talking about people necessarily being, like, bombed out of existence, which is bad enough. We're talking about people slowly starving to death because no supplies can get through thanks to the Saudi government and the weapons supplied by our government.
Yeah, but this was all these problems were taking place before too. This is a canary in the coal mine of what the fucking world has to look forward to with climate change and all these other problems that are going on.
Right. I mean, but what I'm saying is, these problems might have existed, but we're not helping by supplying one side with weapons.
No, this is not helping anybody except fucking enrich some corporate motherfuckers living in the U.S. and fucking Saudi Arabia. This is helping the Saudi royal family, and it's helping the fucking
this is
military
clear.
industrial complex of the U.S.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is about. That's
Trump
what
just
this
looks like
veto
a
is about.
fucking beer keg wearing a suit.
What a fat, ugly fuck, dude.
That's like what I would look like.
Has
in
he
a fucking
plumped
suit.
up since taking
has.
office?
He looks fat as fuck.
He actually has gained weight, yes.
He looks fat.
He looks plump as fuck in this one.
Yeah, I mean, like
He can't golf as much, you know.
I mean, the stress.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even for someone like Trump, the presidency is a stressful position, even though he doesn't even treat it as seriously as he should. So, yeah, he's probably just sitting there crying in his cheeseburgers all day.
He looks like an overstuffed bratwurst ready to bust forth from its casing, yeah?
So, we actually do have some Mueller stuff. Trump says Russia probe con job as Fuller report looms. The president isn't waiting as Washington counts down the final hours until the publication of the redacted special counsel report, now expected Thursday. Donald Trump stepped up his attacks in an effort to undermine potential disclosures on Russia, his 2016 campaign, and the aftermath. He unleashed a series of tweets Monday focusing on the previously released summary of special counsel Robert Mueller's conclusions, including a crucial one on obstruction of justice that Trump again misrepresented, produced by Attorney General William Barr. Mueller and the AG, based on the Mueller findings and great intelligence, have ruled no collusion, no obstruction, Trump tweeted. These were crimes committed by Crooked Hillary, the DNC, dirty cops, and others. Investigate the investigators.
Oh my God, dude.
But who's going to investigate the investigators
Trump.
of the investigators?
I want a Trump investigation. Look, they're guilty. Firing squad.
Yeah, just let Trump look over it and make the decision, man.
I like how he's talking about how his AG has ruled on it. Like,
Yeah.
that guy's not a judge.
They ruled.
They
He
ruled.
hasn't.
Neither is Mueller.
I'm
Yeah.
innocent.
No one has ruled on anything as of yet. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, who's backed up the Trump bullshit position, whatever. Democrats are calling for Mueller himself to testify before Congress and have expressed concerns that Barr will order unnecessary censoring of the report to protect the president.
No.
I don't buy that for a second.
No, never.
The House Judiciary Committee, led by Rep. Jerry Nadler of New York, is poised to try to compel Barr to turn over an unredacted copy as well as the report's underlying investigative files. The Justice Department announced Monday that it expects to release the redacted version Thursday morning, sending the findings of the nearly 2-year probe to Congress and making
What
them
a
available
fuck,
to
dude!
the
What a
public.
fucking joke, dude. I mean, could this be any bigger of a fucking con? Your con job. The con job is on the American fucking people because they're gonna give us a bullshit report and then they're gonna redact the bullshit report and give us a redacted version of a bullshit report. Fuck this. This is horseshit. The full report or nothing, because you know what? We're gonna get this fucking Trump redacted. Basically, Trump did nothing wrong. He good. The end.
Donald, redacted. Trump, redacted, did, redacted, nothing, redacted,
Yeah.
wrong on the last page. That's what we're going to get.
Yay! Great! This is political theater. That's why people go like, why don't you fucking vote? It's like, this is why, because this is all bullshit. If we had a transparent government that we could actually look at with the investigation, and we could, obviously, yeah, there's some things like national security concerns. I understand you can't just release every single piece of information. But why not actually release an unredacted report aside from those concerns?
I don't know. This national security shit has all gotten too fucking, like, for me, It's the boy who cried wolf all over again. Like
Well, it's used way too
the
much.
lessons of that old fable just ring in my fucking ears because now everything is a national security. It just instantly was used as a cloak for any kind of wrongdoing.
Sure.
National security.
National security. Then this is national. No. There needs to be an office, a bipartisan office that fucking decides whether or not something is redacted for national security or whether or not it's just to protect somebody's ever fattening orange ass from any kind of prosecution or insinuation
Oh, no,
of
I
wrongdoing.
agree with you. I don't think it should be Trump making that call. There should
Hell
be,
to the fuck
there
no.
should be an independent process that determines what's national
And let me tell you, all of these people that ran to the presses with a hot take on this because William Barr summarized it, that's basically letting Donald Trump sit down and summarize it. The only reason he didn't is because he's not smart enough to do it. So he just hired a lapdog, William Barr, who is already buttering up everybody that would listen about how there was no collusion before he ever saw a fucking word of the report. There was no obstruction of justice. There was no collusion. He'd already made his mind up. If you're going to take his summary or this redacted bunch of nonsense you're about to get on Thursday for what's really in that report, you're a dupe.
You know what's funny, too, with all this shit, too, is that Bill Clinton, whatever you think of him, got a blowjob in the Oval Office. And they wanted him impeached, and he very nearly was impeached.
Not only that, but it was like a 4-year investigation.
Yeah, the Kenneth Starr report. It's a huge tome. And Trump does this shit and is implicated in this, and it's like, oh, well,
Let's hide it.
Oh, yeah, 2 years. Oh, it's going on forever. It's a witch hunt. There's nothing there. Oh, here's the fucking summary. Trump's innocent. What?
Yeah. Redact your active security sources. Redact your fucking, the stuff that would obviously give aid to our enemies, but release the findings. There you go.
Yes, indeed. Stop Sanders Democrats are agonizing over his momentum.
Oh, dude, I read this. This is a fucking garbage article, dude.
When Leah Daughtry, a former Democratic Party official, addressed a closed-door gathering about 100 wealthy liberal donors in San Francisco last month, all it took was a review of the 2020 primary rules to throw a scare in them. Democrats are likely to go into their convention next summer without having settled on a presidential nominee, said Ms. Daughtry, who ran her party's conventions in 2008 and 2016. The last 2 times the nomination was contested, and Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont is well-positioned to be one of the last candidates standing, she noted. I think I freaked them out, Ms. Daughtry recalled with a chuckle, an assessment that was confirmed by 3 other attendees. They are hardly alone. So there was a there was a ton of people involved in this. There was like
This is like the rich liberal wing,
there was like a
right?
secret,
Oh, heavens, Bernie Sanders. We can't have that, ruffian.
and I believe Pelosi was there. I don't know if she was at this, but there was either this or another meeting.
Oh, but TJ,
where they all got together.
Pelosi.
Pelosi was there, Schumer was there, and Pete Buttigieg was there.
Yeah, the fucking parasites themselves were there.
So they were all there trying to figure out like how do we stop this Bernie Sanders shit? How do we stop that? Stopping Mr. Sanders, or at least preventing a contentious convention, could prove difficult for Democrats. He has an enormous financial advantage, already substantially outraising his Democratic rivals, that can sustain a major campaign through the primaries.
Why?
And he is well positioned to benefit from a historically large field of candidates that would splinter the vote. If he wins a substantial number of primaries and caucuses and comes in second in others, thanks to his deeply loyal base of voters across many states, he would pick up formidable numbers of delegates.
It's basically saying, how do we take the most popular person out of the running because we don't like what they represent?
Well, you can bet your fucking ass that this type of meeting happened a bunch of times
In 2016.
In 2016,
Oh, of course.
They're gonna find a way.
It's just last time we had Saint Hillary was anointed, basically, so they didn't have this big field of people because everyone was like, oh shit, Hillary's running? Well, I'm scared. I don't want to jump into that fray. And Bernie Sanders was pretty much one of the only real fucking candidates. They had some other ones, but they were bullshit.
There was like 2 other guys.
They were put up by the fucking DNC to be fucking like, oh, there's
Let's
a
give
contest.
the people an illusion of choice.
Because guess what happened? They both dropped out almost immediately.
Well, one of them was clearly just there to be the VP pick. was clearly like a plant so that she could. Who did she end up picking? I can't even remember his
Tim
fucking dumbass
Kaine.
name. Kane, yeah, wasn't he
Tim
running?
Kaine.
He was one of the ones running, right?
I think so.
And then she was just like, "Join me."
Or no, he wasn't. Maybe he was. I don't know.
I can't even fucking
It was
remember.
there was some lame fucking dude from like Rhode Island or Maryland or some shit that had no fucking chance. It was Bernie and Hillary and I think one other person at one
I'm
point.
Pete Buttwhistle, and I'm running for president.
Pretty much.
There's a growing realization that Sanders could end up winning this thing, or certainly that he stays in so long that he damages the actual winner, said David Brock, the liberal organizer, who said he has had discussions with other operatives about an anti-Sanders campaign and believes it should commence sooner rather than later. But to some veterans of the still raw 2016 primary, a heavy-handed intervention may only embolden him and his fervent
Yeah,
supporters. I
no
can tell you
shit.
right now it would. I'll tell you absolutely that it would.
Well, I mean, listen to this guy who said he had discussion with other operatives about an anti-Sanders campaign. They're not talking about like just winning people over with ideas. It's like we got to get this guy.
We gotta
out of the fuck-
sabotage him. We
gotta
gotta cut
stop
his
him.
legs out from underneath
I
him.
mean,
Gotta
what the
stop
fuck?
this fucking Sanders at
This-
all costs.
And this is the party these people are defending. This are the elites in this party.
I
like,
just love that
let's
they
take
just-
him out.
They describe this guy as a liberal organizer. You know, you're just a Democratic Party shill at that point. Is all you are. Don't act like you're a liberal anything. You're about as liberal as Richard Nixon. So yeah, it just goes on and on to just talk about these people wringing their hands in concern that, oh shit, what if Bernie Sanders wins? What are we gonna do then?
Yeah, because he's not on our side. He's
we
not on
s-
the money side.
Uh-oh, what are we gonna
Uh-oh.
do? Do we support Trump?
Can't have a president that's not on the money side.
Well, they can't. That's why they don't want Sanders as the fucking nominee because they obviously can't support Trump. That's political suicide. So if they have to back him, it's like, oh shit.
I just can't believe fucking Nancy Pelosi is still at the head of this fucking party, dude.
Oh, I know, dude.
Oh
She
my
sucks.
God.
When I tweeted about that and I fucking had fucking Zahn start going like, well, she's the only one. I'm like, what are you
That
fucking...
nasty old desiccated corpse stuffed
I was-
with handfuls of corporate money.
And all these other people said to me, I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? The best we can do is Nancy Pelosi. Like, get that fucking
Yeah.
that fucking goddamn revived corpse out of the fucking
Yeah.
political fucking office. She's the
Hey,
Speaker of the House again.
hey! I take issue with you calling her revived. She's just a corpse.
Yeah.
It's like, what fucking evil wizard fucking possessed this bag of bones to make her go to the fucking goddamn
horrible.
top of the fucking food
She's
chain?
literally standing in the way of any kind of liberal change in that party. She's been at the head of the constant march towards the middle right.
Oh, you know
that
what
the
she
fucking
said?
liberal party or
She
the
said-
liberal side of politicians
Yeah,
made.
She said progressives of the Democrat Party are like what, like 5 people?
Yeah.
She was asked. Yeah,
Fuck her.
She was in an interview. She was asked about, well, what about the progressive wing of your party? And she's like, that's like 5 people. I don't give a fuck.
But there's a lot of Johnny come latelys to Pelosi, and she's been like this.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of the she and politicians like her are one of the reasons I don't vote anymore.
She's horrible.
They're ticks.
And of course, she's a big part of this Stop Sanders movement, as
Oh,
is
of
Chuck
course.
Schumer, as is their anointed Pete Buttigieg, who they for some reason think is going to do something. Man sues parents for getting rid of his vast porn collection.
Damn.
An Indiana man is suing his parents for getting rid of his vast pornography collection, which he estimates is worth $29,000.
Shit. Why is mom and dad throwing that away?
The 40-year-old man last week filed a lawsuit in federal court in Michigan where he moved in with his parents in 2016 following a divorce. He says that when he moved out 10 months later, they delivered his things to his new home in Muncie, Indiana, but that his 12 boxes of pornographic films and magazines were missing. His parents admitted they dumped the porn, which included such titles as Frisky Business, and Big Bad Grannies.
Damn.
Okay.
He freaky.
Dude, he wanted some gilfs, dude.
Yeah, he wanted some granny puss.
The man filed a complaint with police, but the Ottawa County prosecutor declined to press charges.
Fuck them.
The lawsuit included an email excerpt from the man's father who told his son, I did you a big favor by getting rid of all this stuff.
He did.
The man is seeking triple financial damages of roughly $87,000.
He deserves every penny.
This is hilarious that there's a person out there that thinks that porn is actually still worth money in a world where you can literally get any porn you want for free
on demand.
on demand. Yeah, he did do you a big fucking favor because you're probably going to introduce yourself to the internet where there is granny porn galore, my friend. Trust me. It's out there. It's everywhere. Every type of granny having every type of fucking sex act done to them that you could possibly think of.
There's some freaky grannies in the world, dude.
Oh, dude, there are some kinky grannies out there on the internet. Let me just tell you that. It ain't my cup of tea, but in my fucking wild rangings for, internet porn, I've seen some shit, man. I've seen some shit. And grannies, they're getting down out there.
It's just so sad that, like, a 40-year-old man has to have his parents be like, look, buddy.
This is a $29,000 collection, though.
Look, sport, Okay, look.
So, according to who? Who's
okay.
going to pay him $1 for a box full of fucking crusty porn
Let me
mags?
tell you where this guy's going to end
don't
up
know.
in life. I fucking knew a guy. His name was Don. He was a 75-year-old man. And we had to help clean out his house. And he was basically a porn collector. Like, he fucking was like a hoarder. But, like, he had literally... Like, you know those contractor fucking garbage bags? Like, the strongest fucking trash bags you can buy. We literally had 10 of those bags filled with porn. 'Cause he had to move out of his house because, like, it was just insane. And, like, he was 75 years old, and he was just, like, that was his life. It's like anytime there wasn't a woman in the room, he's like, yeah, man, I got to get fucking laid. I got to do this. I got to do... And it was like, dude, you don't need this. His parents actually did do him a favor. He does not need this. He's going to end up like a fucking Don, living by himself, having driven the rest of his family away. Like, he needs to fucking come back to reality. He doesn't need a $29,000 fucking porn collection. That might be what he spent on it, but the psychological and other costs are way greater. His family did do him a favor.
It says he's seeking triple financial damages of 87 grand.
He's fucking delusional.
87 grand for 12 boxes
From
of
his
old
parents.
semen jizz-stained movies on tape.
It appears there is something of a vintage porn market, but it doesn't look very big, and there's probably not a whole lot of people
It doesn't
involved.
say vintage porn.
This motherfucker wasn't going to sell that shit.
Well, they just mean old. I mean, they just mean like porn back when it was in magazine and video form and stuff like that.
Sure, but he wasn't going to sell any of his collection. He was just obsessed with his stuff. And if he really cared about that much, he should have loaded up his own fucking U-Haul and dragged it with him wherever he was moving to.
I know it's not him, but that dude over on the right, I keep thinking that he's the one.
I know, dude.
He's the one what done it, dude.
I like to think the head of the NRA, what's his name, Wayne Lampierre or something?
Yeah, him.
I like to think that's his porn collection.
Well, it's funny you mention the NRA because the next story is gun-related. A gun in a diaper bag went off, injuring dad and daughter. Now the dad has
Oh
died.
my God.
Sorry, but this is another one of those Darwin Awards
Can
here.
people stop carrying fucking guns with them everywhere?
Why in a diaper bag? A man who accidentally shot himself while changing his daughter's diaper in a vehicle in Vestavia Hills, Alabama, has died, police said. Timothy Rashawn Smith was shot in the leg and chest, and his daughter's leg was injured when a loaded gun in a diaper bag went off Saturday outside of Chuck E. Cheese's.
Wow.
The
'Cause you know you're about to have to get down in the Chuck E. Cheese's, you know what I mean?
The 22-year-old man died Monday, said Captain Johnny Evans of the Vestavia Hills Police Department. The girl is expected to make a full recovery. Smith was in the back seat of a vehicle Saturday outside the pizza restaurant, changing the girl's diaper. The gun went off as he picked up and or reached inside a diaper bag on the floorboard, Evans said after the incident. After the gun went off, the bullet traveled through Smith's leg and then the child's leg before lodging in the man's chest.
This is why
This
people...
is another magic bullet.
This bullet did a lot.
This is why people don't need to carry guns with them everywhere they go. This is why, because guess what? Even if you're not talking about shooting other people, this happens all the fucking time. Idiots have guns, and they don't fucking secure them properly. It's like he had this in the back of his vehicle locked up.
It is better to have a gun and not need it than to need a gun and not have it, Scotty.
Is he look,
Okay,
this guy
but
had
even if
Don't
that's
tread on me.
I mean, sorry, even if that's true, don't keep it in the fucking diaper bag with
What good is it going to be to me if I need it and it is locked in my trunk?
I mean, I'm not saying this has
What
to be in your
good would it
trunk.
be, sir?
I'm not
You
saying
will
it has to
not
be in your
stand in
trunk.
my
Could it-
way of defending my family. Don't tread on me.
First of all,
if he had carried it in a
you
holster,
could have
he'd
it in
been
a
safe.
holster with the safety on.
Don't tread on me.
I'm sorry.
What good
I'm
is
gonna
the safety if I need that 1
Dude,
second to shoot the man that's about to shoot me, sir?
You wouldn't have enough time to defend yourself anyway.
Yes, I would. Maybe you wouldn't, sir, but I'm highly trained.
Doesn't matter how highly trained you
Highly
are.
trained.
It doesn't matter how highly trained you are.
Doesn't matter how highly. Look, you want to go shoot?
Because
you want to go
would-
shoot?
If someone
wanna
had
go
the-
shooting?
If someone had the drop
I'll take
on
you
you,
shooting. You want to go shooting me?
No, I don't want to go shooting with you. You're already
I'll knock
dead.
that target out.
You're already
I'll
dead.
knock that target out.
You're a ghost.
I'll knock that target out, boy.
You're a ghost.
Gotta keep a gun in the diaper
Dude,
bag.
I just read a story about just like this too, where someone there's actually a kid that it was actually what was it? It was like a mom, and there's two kids, and the brother actually shot his sister to death on accident playing with a gun in a car.
Oops.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
And it's like people don't.
We
realize
covered one
shit.
recently about a dude at a birthday party that was like showing his gun to a bunch of 8-year-olds at a birthday party and accidentally shot himself.
Oh, remember the kids in the they were like smoking pot in the church or something,
Yeah.
or abandoned building, and they killed their friend. It's like people do not need guns are not fucking toys. You don't play with a gun like a toy. I mean, like, how many times do we have to do this in this country? It's like these dum-dums like, oh, no, everyone needs a gun. It's like, we give people guns who have no training with them, and this is their fucking result. I guarantee you this guy didn't have any training with a gun. He had a fucking loaded fucking gun around in the chamber in a fucking diaper bag.
A Coast Guard officer accused of stockpiling hit list hasn't been charged with terrorism. Labeled a domestic terrorist by prosecutors, Christian Hassan has been in federal custody since he was arrested in February on drug and firearm charges. Greenbelt, what is that, Maryland?
Maryland.
A coast officer accused of stockpiling guns and compiling a hit list of prominent Democrats and network TV journalists is seeking his release from federal custody since prosecutors haven't charged him with any terrorism-related
No,
offenses.
please keep this man locked away.
Christopher Hassan has remained in custody since February 15th, his February 15th arrest and subsequent indictment in Maryland on firearms and drug charges. His attorney, Liz Oyer, wrote in a Monday letter that the prosecutors recently informed the court that they don't expect to seek any additional charges. In a court filing, prosecutors called Hassan a domestic terrorist and said he intends to murder innocent civilians on a scale rarely seen in this country, which that's this country we're talking about, so just remember that.
Right.
In February, a magistrate judge ordered Hassan detained, but said he was willing to revisit the decision if prosecutors didn't bring more serious charges. I'm going to go ahead and say maybe bring more serious charges and keep this guy in jail.
I mean,
for
if
a
what
little
they're
while.
saying about him is true, I wonder if they just don't have the case. I wonder if something's flimsy about it or
Maybe.
some shit. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
understand why they wouldn't jump all over this.
So the dude's stockpiling weapons. I mean, like, how, is this hit list like? Is there like a written out in his handwriting like
See, we
kill
don't know.
list or something?
we don't know.
Is there anything else about the story?
No, that's it.
I mean, wow, that's pretty fucking disturbing.
That's all there is.
I mean, a hit list, a weapon stockpile, but he's not. I mean, like that sounds like terrorism to me.
It's living in a post-truth world for you, Scotty. We can't be trusted with the information that's being used in this case
Yeah,
to
you're
decide
right.
this. We can't be trusted with that.
We're the
It's not-
dum-dums.
It's not for us. We just have to sit back and let everybody else make the decision.
Paul, listen to your betters. Listen to the nobility tell you how things are going to go.
It's just like, dude, if
You
they
little
caught this
serf.
guy with a bunch of drugs and guns and a hit list of political figures, I think that you broke up a terrorist plot.
That's what it sounds like to me.
But
He was
whatever.
going to kill people
No,
for political
apparently not.
reasons.
Common sense don't apply around here.
I want to know who was on the list.
I mean, they've released some names, haven't they?
Have they?
I don't
haven't
know.
seen it. Anderson Cooper, you're going down, bitch. Suspect in attack on boy at Mall of America held on $2 million bond. You guys heard about this story at all?
I did not know.
You haven't heard about this? Oh, it's horrible, dude.
Minneapolis, a man accused of throwing a 5-year-old boy from the third-floor balcony at the Mall of America said little Tuesday during his first court appearance, but appeared lucid and followed the court's directions. Emmanuel Aranda, 24, of Minneapolis, is charged with attempted, premeditated, first-degree murder in Friday's attack. The child plunged almost 40 feet and is fighting for his life in a Minneapolis hospital with head trauma and multiple broken bones.
Basically, this guy said he would go to the mall constantly to talk to women. He was rejected. He said after he was rejected by a woman or something, this kid was outside of a Rainforest Cafe on the 3rd level of this mall, and the guy just picked him up and threw him off the balcony and then ran away.
Yeah, police say...
Wasn't even his kid?
No. No, he didn't even know the
It was
kid.
a
It was random.
It was a random kid.
Police say Aranda told them he went to the mall looking for someone to kill and chose the boy at random. The hell's that? Aranda appeared behind a glass partition Tuesday in the courtroom at Hennigan County Jail. He spelled his name and gave his birth date and address, noting he had been at a shelter. When asked by the judge whether he had any questions, he said, "Not at all." Aranda's bail was kept at $2 million, and an omnibus hearing was set for May 14th. Aranda has 2 past convictions for assaults at the mall, both in 2015, and he was banned from the mall at one point.
Why not permanently? I don't know.
Court records show that Aranda had been ordered to undergo psychological evaluation or treatment after those assaults.
Oh, wonderful.
Paul Sellers, the public defender appointed to represent Aranda, said his client has been in mental health court before. He urged the legislature and those who are calling for aggressive retribution to focus on mental health issues.
I mean, I would say that not necessarily you could just blame it on mental issues, but anybody that's just going to grab a random kid and throw it off a balcony has probably got some problems that need to be looked at. And if this dude's got a history of violent outbursts
At
and
this
mental health
mall
problems,
specifically,
At the
too.
mall, yeah, he should not. He should not
right?
have been allowed at the
He
mall.
shouldn't have been in the mall. He shouldn't have been out walking the streets if he was
No.
dangerous enough to do this
And
to a
that's,
kid.
I mean, that's just a huge failure of our mental health care system, which is just almost non-existent for people.
Yep.
It's like this
There's
guy
nowhere to
clearly
put people like him.
Yeah, so he's wandering around the Mall of America trying to talk to people with random nonsense, and then when he doesn't get what he wants, he has violent outbursts. But that's not a problem for our society.
Of course. it
And,
is.
and look where he's going to end up, in prison. So he's going to get treatment there, right? Nope. He's just going to be a fucking other crazy person in prison being medicated.
So the says here that $700,000 has been raised for the victim and their family, but it's not really known whether the victim will survive. So yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think that this kind of shit is kind of the most disturbing to people because it's so unprompted.
Right.
Whereas-
It comes out of nowhere.
Where it's just like, you know, oh, I'm at the mall with my kid, and then someone just grabs your kid and is like, yep, throwing your kid off the fucking balcony
Yeah.
because women won't fuck me.
Until we start being proactive with mental health care, we're just going to be reactive, and we're going to be dealing with people like this to do crazy things or shoot up buildings or throw kids off
Yeah, I mean,
balconies.
the shooting thing rings especially true for me here because we're used to this kind of random outbursts of violence. We have become desensitized to places where families go and children go, becoming bloodbaths. And this is just a small example. This is one kid, not to diminish it, but this is happening at schools, and it's more than one kid that ends up dying or almost dying from it. And we're totally desensitized as a country to it now.
Yeah. So here's something I can't believe I never heard Alex Jones talk about. Harvard dorm ends decades-old goat roast tradition.
If they'll still burn the effigy of care.
A Harvard University residence hall is ending a decades-old tradition of skinning and barbecuing a goat in the courtyard. The Harvard Crimson student newspaper reports that Dunster House faculty deans Cheryl Chen and Sean Kelly informed students of the decision in an email last week, citing student discomfort with the tradition and health concerns. They say Dunster will continue to hold a goat roast, just without an actual goat. The annual event began in the 1980s as a spin-off of a primitive survival course taught by human and evolutionary biology professor Daniel Lieberman. After the goat is skinned, students and the house marinate the carcass in lime, curry, salt, pepper, herbs, and garlic, and then roast it the next day
Sounds delicious.
on a spit over a bed of coals.
Look, if they want to end it, whatever. But the thing is, too, it's like, don't be so disconnected from the way you're going to eat an animal. Most of these people here are going to fucking go and to consume tons of chicken and tons of shit from a factory farm. They don't give a shit on some moral level. It's not like they're going, oh, we're all just vegans now. We don't want to
I just think it's weird that a bunch of rich kids are like, let's skin a goat and
mean,
roast
it
it
sounds
over
like it's
a
like
fire.
It's
sounds
actually
like
a good lesson for them.
Yeah, and it also sounds like it's an old tradition. Like from what they described, there was some old
from the
professor
80s.
there,
From 1980s.
and he used it as a way to teach his kids biology, and it stuck. I don't, whatever. But there are people out there that are going to say that this is some kind of like proof of like Satan worship at the high levels of academia.
Well, if you
or
were going to
whatever.
be if it was Satan worship, why would you kill the goat? Because the goat,
you
the
sacrifice
goat's a,
it.
The goat's a pro-satanic symbol.
These elites, these globalists are on a higher level of consciousness than you, TJ. Look,
Oh.
that's what's happening, TJ. They're infiltrating, TJ. They're getting stronger and stronger, and we're getting weaker and weaker, TJ. The globalists are coming here.
There are whole swaths of the world that eat goat.
I think it's a weird tradition, and I'm
Goat
glad it's gone.
biryani, dude. I'd eat some goat biryani.
You're glad, TJ. You're glad that God is under siege, TJ.
Yeah, for sure. And in fact, those who object to Trump executing his political opponents are standing in the way of God's will. You know, one thing I like about Right Wing Watch is it fucking dredges up crazy right wing bullshit, but a lot of times it elevates people that otherwise no one would be listening to,
Yeah.
like this shit.
No.
Because, like, who the fuck cares about whatever the
Mark
hell this
Taylor.
is? But anyway, I thought it was funny enough. I thought it was funny enough that we could.
God
check it
is
out.
going to serve justice. Justice is coming. Barr
You know
just
what,
put out
TJ?
today. I think it's
TJ, you know what? Can you pause it for a second,
Yeah.
dude? I want to thank Mark Taylor for one thing at least. Like, we no longer have the worst audio on the internet, so thank you to Mark Taylor.
Yeah,
for
that
at
is
least,
true.
For at least taking that
For
fucking
everybody that
from
calls
us.
this show, underproduced and shoddily put together, I present the Christopher McDonald show here, the Mick Files. Look at this shit.
Shot.
A stretched out picture of bald eagles, like distorted. It looks like some. His show looks like a website from like the early '90s
It
or
sure
the
does.
late '90s.
Across Obama. We can move into that now.
Yep, let's do it.
So Barr put that out today where he was fired a shot across Obama's bow. It's coming, folks. I have said it on openly before. I will say it again. I believe that Obama will be seen on national television giving an account of what he's done. But I believe also he will be seen spitting and sputtering. He will not be able to even complete a sentence, and people will look.
I love these right-wing predictions, man.
They're all fantasies.
They're
I'm,
always so much. They're always the most far-fetched bullshit, and
They're
they
all power
never fucking
fantasy.
come true.
I want to say to the American
I got a
people,
prediction.
I'm
Obama
I'm
gonna-
a demon.
He's gonna appear on the damn TV, and he's gonna be spitting and sputtering and confessing his sins before the American people. And then Trump gonna come out with a goddamn samurai sword and lob Obama's head clean off his goddamn body, and then you're gonna see a bunch of demons fly out his neck and go back to hell.
Then two bald eagles will swoop in, grab the head, and throw it into a fire pit.
I mean, in defense of this guy, and not to be a both sidesist, but the left was doing this pretty hard for a while on Trump, too. Oh, yeah, I can't wait until this orange buffoon is let out of the front doors of the White House and chains in front of everybody.
At least he's the sitting president. These guys are literally still obsessing about Obama, who hasn't been
Oh,
in
there will
office
be,
for-
but trust me, dude, there will be liberals for fucking 8 cycles to come talking about Trump and blaming him for shit. That's just the way we work now.
look upon him, and they will say, "This is the guy who actually almost took down America. This is the guy that almost took down the entire globe." It's almost like that when the Lord talks about when we see Satan, we will say the same thing about him.
Obama
This is the
almost
guy
took
that
down
almost
the
took us down.
globe.
Yeah.
How did he
You-
do that? How did Obama
don't
almost take
remember.
down the globe?
So yeah, that's the first question. And then also,
Citation
what
needed.
part of the Bible says that we're going to be underwhelmed with Satan?
Dude, why is the butler from Rocky Horror Picture Show hosting a fucking... Dude, why is Riff Raff here?
Science fiction.
You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
This is what I believe is coming. And so people don't believe he's going to be arrested. He will be arrested. Justice will be served, period. Hillary Clinton will be arrested. All these people,
No.
it's coming. I
it's
think
not.
there's going to come a time when some of these people are just going to disappear. We're not going to hear anything.
What's
And
stopping
we may
Donald
not
Trump?
never know the truth. But
What's
the bottom
stopping
line
Donald
is
Trump
that
as
they're just going to
president from
disappear.
arresting Hillary
Somebody-
Clinton?
What?
He said during the campaign, if he'd won, you'd be in jail.
To be in jail.
Then the first person he thanks is Hillary Clinton. I know I've said it a bunch of times, but it's like Hillary Clinton's not going to fucking prison. She's not.
None
going
of these
to jail.
motherfuckers are going to
Obama's
serve a
the-
day in prison.
Yeah, look behind the fucking closed doors. That's not what's being discussed here. It's not like when are these people going to go to fucking jail? It's not going to happen. They're part of the elites. They're not going to.
may die, come down with some funky disease, or have an accident, whatever the case may be, and we may never know the full truth on a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And but most of them will be in Gitmo. But people better get ready for this, Chris. If you don't have a stomach for justice, you better get one quick,
You better get one quick, Mark.
because
Absolutely.
there's going to be people in prison for life. You will see suicides to keep their reputation, and there will be people executed.
That's right.
And now some
Man,
of these
this
people,
fantasy just gets deeper and deeper.
I'll tell you what. There's going to be big breast women. They're going to feed me grapes. I'm going to be on a pedestal, and people are going to be going, Mark Taylor, you done. You called it.
Basically, my the entire roster of my incredibly skewed political beliefs are going to be reaffirmed in a sweeping firestorm of epic proportions. My dick's going to be so hard it's going to explode from the sheer joy of it. And you're ready too. I can see you got your lips all reddened up, and you're ready for it to come.
That is one
I'm
red-lipped
ready.
motherfucker.
Yeah, that motherfucker
Again,
is
we
trying
never know
hard
that
to not
they're
look like a
executed, they
corpse
just may
because
come
he's
down with it.
clearly wearing some lipstick, dude.
the disease, and all of a sudden they're gone very quietly and just disappear. So, I mean, again, you better get a stomach for justice, because justice is here. Just truly stop these treasonous acts. It's going to take executing some of these people. And by gosh, they'll think twice before committing treason again. This is why
No, they won't because they'll be
Yeah,
dead.
they'll be dead.
They'll be dead at that point.
Donald Trump was put there to begin with, was to issue justice.
Absolutely,
and
brother.
Let me put this warning out to you evangelical leaders out there. You stand in the way of this, God will deal with you on your own, because you don't have the mind of God. You don't have God's interest at heart. If you're trying to tell this president to not serve justice,
But
you
you
are
do?
standing in the way. You've been
Man,
warned.
I am
How
so
do you know? How do you know? Even if you believe in God, how do you
Hold
know
on,
what
there's very
God's
little left.
will is?
Let's just finish
All
it
right.
up. Oh, that was it. Okay.
That was it, TJ. You fucking
Sorry.
sniveling retard.
Well, I didn't know there was like fucking 3 seconds left. I didn't know it was just
Oh.
the right wing.
It's all it is a fucking promotion for Right Wing Watch, TJ. Good job, buddy.
God, look at those rouge lips, dude.
He's so beautiful, isn't he?
God, Christopher McDonald is I'm starting to feel a little stirring in my nethers.
Loving you.
Did somebody say McDonald?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it all night long.
Yeah, I'm just so sick of listening to grown ass men talk all seriously about God. I'm just done about like can we please just end the religious
If
thing?
you
Look,
stand
dude, we got
between-
enough problems without it. I used to think that religion encroaching on politics was the single number one fucking most important thing in the world. And now we've got so many fucking problems piled on top of that. Can we just get rid of this one? Can we check this one off the list? Can grown-ass men stop running around and talking about what other people should do due to their fucking imagination of a god that's up there somewhere? Can we just be done with it?
You ain't got God on your damn side,
what,
boy.
Paul?
It's a hard enough time convincing these morons that the truth is the truth without the insinuation of a god floating around out there.
You stand in between hey Paul, you stand between God's will and the people's will? He's gonna deal with you, Paul.
God gonna deal with
He's
you.
gonna deal with you what you saying a bunch of liberal bullshit,
Let
Paul.
me tell you what I predict, man.
You're gonna be in the firing squad too, you get in the way.
I predict what you're going to see is you're going to see Paul's ego. He's going to come up on the video, and someone's going to take a big old...
Yeah.
He's going to confess all his shortcomings, and then a man with a chainsaw is going to show up
Good.
and lodge that chainsaw
Yep.
right up Paul's ego's fucking ass.
His liberal
And
ass.
if you ain't got the stomach for that justice, well,
Better
you
get one.
better get it, because you're going to be puking up your damn guts that day when Paul's ego gets his for
Get his
not going,
comeuppance,
because
liberal.
he's against God. He's against God, y'all.
God.
He's against fucking God.
And I'll tell you what.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. Go
ahead.
ahead.
All right. Man who killed surgeon with one punch, jailed for 10 years.
Dude, it's the real One Punch Man.
yeah, One Punch Man, dude.
Jesus.
Patrick Pritzwald Stegman knew the dangers of smoking. The 41-year-old cardiothoracic surgeon was a specialist who treated patients with lung cancer when he encountered Joseph Esmaili, smoking a cigarette near the entrance of the box. I'm going to just go ahead and kind of paraphrase. So the surgeon guy, Patrick Pritzwald Stegman, goes out. He sees this dude smoking. He tells him to stop smoking there. It's not a smoking area. Later, the surgeon goes in the hospital and is complaining to other staff about it. This guy comes in and overhears. An altercation ensues. A punch is thrown, and the doctor...
He's dead.
he doesn't die right on the spot. He was lying unconscious on the tile floor with a catastrophic brain injury. 4 weeks later, his devastated wife and twin daughters would have to watch his life support be switched off. On Wednesday, Esmaili, 24, became the first person in Victoria to receive a mandatory minimum 10-year prison sentence for delivering the blow that killed him. He smiled and nodded to members of the public gallery at the Supreme Court on Wednesday as he was led away to begin serving his jail term with no
Idiot.
chance of parole for a decade. In delivering her sentence, Justice Elizabeth Hollingsworth said prosecutors had satisfied the 4 key elements of the one-punch law that was introduced in 2014, that Esmaili's punch was deliberate, to the head, the victim wasn't expecting it, and he probably knew that the surgeon wasn't expecting it. So they have this one-punch
like a
law.
sucker punch law.
Yeah, it's basically this. Yeah, it's like a sucker punch law.
So you can't say, "Look, I didn't
So if
mean
you
to do
deliberately
anything."
punch someone in the head when they're not expecting it, and you know they're not expecting it, then if they get fucking killed by that punch or injured or whatever, you're facing some jail. I mean, obviously you'd face jail time for punching.
I mean,
someone
this happened in
anyway, but-
Australia, so well, probably what happened was, I'm just guessing it happened enough in Australia where people would do that and they get seriously injured and say, "Well, I didn't mean to do that. I was angry."
I remember hearing about. You guys remember that knockout game that was
Yep.
going
Yeah,
around?
dude,
for a while?
knockout game.
game. Yeah.
I remember hearing that. It's probably in response to some of that shit.
Could be. So yeah, this guy claimed self-defense. The jury didn't buy it, and he is
10
going to
years.
jail for
Good.
10 years now. So I guess that's about it to say about it. I thought it was interesting. Carl's Jr. will test a CBD-infused
Fuck
burger.
yes, dude.
Hell yeah, weed burger, nigga. It's happening. Woo!
Dude, the world is dying. But at least we
I'm
have
so stoked.
But at least we have CBD burgers, man.
Dude, I can't wait for this. I cannot wait for this.
Now remember, CBD is not going to get you high on its own.
No, I don't care about that.
But it
I
will
like
relax
it.
you a little bit. Might help with some joint pain, too, depending on who you ask. Carl's Jr. will test a CBD-infused burger at one of its Denver locations on April 20th. Of course, the price is also going to be $4.20.
Yeah. Burger King.
Carl's Jr. is adding something special to its signature sauce. The restaurant will test a CBD-infused burger at one of its Denver locations for one day only, April 20th, the unofficial holiday for cannabis enthusiasts.
It is a beautiful and horrible time to be alive, gentlemen.
I'm going to call myself a cannabis enthusiast from now on.
Yeah.
The limited time offer makes Carl's Jr. the first national fast food chain to add a CBD-infused food to its menu. It's another nod to the marijuana holiday. In another nod to the marijuana holiday, the burger will sell for, of course,
Fuck yeah,
$4.20.
dude.
It has to sell for $4.20. The burger chain's Rocky Mountain High cheeseburger delight features 2 beef patties, pickled jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, waffle fries, and about 5 milligrams of hemp-derived CBD extract in the burger chain's Santa Fe sauce. Proponents claim that CBD, a non-psychoactive compound found in hemp and marijuana, can help with anxiety and pain relief, among other ailments, although little scientific research has been done to back up those assertions. There is also a lack of agreement about dosage, particularly blah, blah, blah. Who cares? The point is that Carl's Jr. is fucking awesome for doing this, and
I can't wait to eat a legal weed burger somewhere.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to consider myself truly ready to die at that point.
you know when we know that things have finally gone our way is when they introduce it to the water supply.
Yeah.
When it's just like, all right,
There's weed in the water now.
In addition to
Well,
fluoride,
dude.
we're now putting CBD in the water. That's when you know that we're living.
Oh, no, dude, I want THC in the water.
Man, this burger
Yes.
looks fucking great. I want those jalapenos. I want that cheesy CBD sauce.
Yeah,
I
maybe
want
we're
them onion
going.
fries.
Maybe we're going to the wrong restaurant on
Yeah,
420.
let's drive to Denver.
Fuck the big chief. We
Dude,
go into fucking.
I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot
Carl's
of
Jr.
in California, especially. I've seen a lot of like THC additives you can put to your foods. Like you
Sweet.
can fucking. And
It's just a matter of time. I want there to
It's
be
gonna
like
happen,
a whole
dude.
mid-range restaurant based around just food that gets you super dank high.
Oh yeah, dude. Like have some fucking
Weed Coke, weed burger, weed fries, and a weed shake to wash it all down.
Paul, how
Yum.
about weed pizza, dude?
Weedsa, dude.
Weedsa,
Weedsa, dude.
Fuck yeah.
cup of hearty weed chili.
New Jersey ban on gay to straight conversion therapy for kids won't be overturned as U.S. Supreme Court rejects
Good.
challenge.
Oh.
So the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday declined to take a case that sought to overturn a New Jersey law banning conversion therapy, a medically discredited practice of attempting to change a child's sexual orientation from gay to straight.
Well, it's quackery, so it should be
That
banned.
means the New Jersey ban will remain. Licensed therapists in New Jersey have been prohibited since 2013 from engaging in reparative or conversion therapy for minors. Then Governor Chris Christie signed the law, citing statements from the American Psychological Association that said the practice can pose critical health risk, including but not limited to depression, substance abuse, social withdrawal, decreased self-esteem, and suicidal thoughts.
Damn, Chris Crispy on the right side of the fucking
he was.
Yes.
issue for once in his fat, sad, embarrassing
man.
life.
Give credit where credit's due.
I love how, like, because I'm fat, people say that I can't call people fat now. Every time I call somebody fat, I get a call out.
You're fat.
Yeah, you know what? If anything, you have more of a right
Exactly.
to call them fat.
Yeah, you know what's
It's
I know
like
what
how-
fat is. I've lived it.
It's like how like black people can say the N word and shit. So
Right.
why can't fat people call other people fat? If anything,
What word is that, TJ?
nigger, Scotty.
Whoa!
the word.
You're not allowed to say that,
Well,
TJ.
you asked
It's
me
okay.
a
It
direct
wasn't.
question.
It wasn't
but-
in the first 3 minutes of this video.
You need
It's
to be
fine.
censored. You need
well,
to
it
be
might
censored.
be the way
Oh yeah,
we
that's
cut
right,
it,
huh?
so,
Damn,
know.
you just fucked us out of
Ta-
ad revenue
So
on
maybe
this one.
Taylor
TJ.
will have to
Taylor's
bleep it
editing
out.
this.
I don't know.
Bleep TJ. Censor
Yeah.
TJ.
Censor me.
Bleep me saying nigga in the
Whoa,
last
whoa,
one too,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa,
and
whoa.
that one, and that
Whoa,
one.
whoa, whoa,
Bleep it
whoa.
all.
That's
Paul,
three
God,
bleeps.
Paul,
Bleep it all.
stop!
Yeah.
You guys just stop it right now.
Bleep it all.
Just bleep this entire fucking
Yeah,
video.
bleep it all. Yeah, dude.
This is quackery, dude.
Well, the whole religious implication in recovery programs is another reason why we need to end this whole religion meme, because it like 12-step programs are rife with this kind of, monotheism.
Surrender yourself to a higher power.
Right, and it all just leads to Jesus, of course, is where it ends up being, because that's where they lead it. And really, it's introducing, like, right now, you remember Vigilant Christian Mario?
Of course.
He's
Unfortunately, I do.
Yeah, he's going to a rehab. It's a Christian rehab, apparently, because he's got sex addiction and he's admitted to having a cocaine addiction.
So he wasn't living the lifestyle he was preaching.
No,
everyone?
he was a hypocrite.
What?
Isn't
no.
it shocking?
But
he's going away. He's all happy, and he's going away to one of these like religious drug places, and they're not gonna address the fucking problem.
And you know
man.
what? And you know what the whole problem with it is he's not going to take responsibility. He's actually going to say, "I'm powerless over my addictions." And to some degree, I understand that's true.
Who's this?
The Vigilant
Christian Mario.
Oh, right.
Because he's, of course, and then he's going to come back after a certain amount of time and say, I'm cured and I've learned the error of my ways and I surrender to a higher power, which Mario already claimed to have surrendered that higher power several times.
I just
before.
call into question any recovery program that thinks that an addict that's profoundly had their life affected by their addiction needs more delusion in their life. I don't think adding another scoop or replacing one delusion for the other is the answer to people getting off of drugs.
Yes, indeed. So, a young woman infatuated with Columbine is found dead. And this is a woman who claimed she was going to carry out a copycat attack.
Why wasn't she in prison?
Well, they were looking for her to put her in jail.
Yeah, it was a huge manhunt. Like in a lot of Denver schools, they even closed and stuff. They were just so basically
And
afraid
she, of course,
was
she was Florida woman. So, a young Florida woman who traveled to Colorado and bought a shotgun for what authorities feared would be a Columbine-inspired attack just days ahead of the 20th anniversary was found dead Wednesday in an apparent suicide after a nearly 24-hour manhunt. Jefferson County Sheriff Jeff Schrader said 18-year-old Sol Pais, I don't know, was discovered by the FBI with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The manhunt had led to the closing of Denver area schools as a precaution. During the manhunt, the FBI said Paez was infatuated with Columbine and made threats ahead of Saturday's anniversary of the attack that killed 13 people at Columbine High School in 1999. The FBI described her extremely dangerous.
I mean, clearly.
The Miami Beach High School student flew to Colorado on Monday night and bought a pump-action shotgun and ammunition, authorities said.
So two huge problems with this. One, we just talked about mental health care, and two, this person was able to buy a fucking shotgun. No problem.
Fly to another state and just buy a shotgun and some ammo.
While making statements on, I'm assuming social media or to someone she knew that I want to carry out a copycat attack.
I'm going to do a Columbine.
No waiting period.
It said she issued threats to that effect, which, by the way, if you're going to carry out a shooting, don't issue a threat. Because that kind of puts people on high alert.
Well, please do, because it was
I
obviously prevented.
So it's probably...
Actually, no, never.
Yeah.
Don't listen to TJ. Please do. Tell everyone you know before you do
super wise to
call the
just
FBI and
reveal
tell
your
them,
plan.
please.
They did a huge manhunt for her, fearing she was going to carry out a school shooting, but apparently the only person she ultimately decided to shoot was herself in the fucking head.
Well, I'm sure she realized by then that people were looking for her.
Yeah, I guess she probably realized, like, my plan's fucked now, because...
It's usually dudes you see doing this, though. It is kind of
this
remarkable
is why
that it's a
this is
woman.
why women can't get away with it, because they're fucking stupid. You know?
Damn,
Whoa,
misogyny.
I mean, I'm just
You're saying
That's
women
not
are
true.
incapable of pulling off a horrible attack?
Hey, remember the YouTube shooting?
Misogyny.
Yeah,
oh,
they-
yeah.
She didn't kill no one, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
She
didn't.
botched it, too.
Zero kill
I
count.
thought she did kill somebody.
No.
No, she shot 4 people, I think, but I don't think she killed anyone other
No.
than herself.
She did. She did shoot 4 people though, so they were
Right.
injured.
So at least she injured some people. This bitch didn't even injure nobody.
Are you sure she didn't kill anybody?
I'm sure. Check it out. Go
All right.
look it
well,
up.
if you say so, I mean, I'll take.
Yeah, I
your word
remember
for it.
that she
I
did.
mean, I'll look it
there
up
were
if
no
you want.
kills.
I'll look it up right now. Just so to
That is
confirm.
crazy. That is crazy. I mean, that's
But
fortunate.
that one chick that hated Mondays killed some people. I forget her name.
Oh, yeah, we covered her.
Yeah. And the
She
school
was
shooting, yeah.
she got some. She was one of the original OG shooters, but no girl since has been able to get anybody. At least not that I know of. So yeah, victims deaths 1, the perpetrator. So there was 4
There you go.
non-fatal injuries, 3 by gunfire. So she only actually hit 3 people, and then someone else got injured in like the incidental running away kind of shit.
Somebody slipped.
Yeah, someone slipped and fell on some coffee or something. So yeah, I mean, women, you guys just it's another thing that you girls want to be working on because
Damn.
you're not.
I'm not saying anything, TJ.
All right, you go ahead and.
I'm
don't
not.
say
I'm
anything.
not going down on that fucking.
You go
sinking
down,
ship.
Paul. Game of Thrones viewers in China beg for sex and violence to not be censored in final season.
Please.
I have to agree with them.
Please don't censor the sex
Please
and violence.
I mean, what would Game of Thrones be without the sex
Meanwhile-
and violence?
Meanwhile, in America, we got feminists and shit begging to censor it. So
Yeah, of course.
As the final season of HBO's blockbuster television series Game of Thrones hits screen around the world today, audiences in China are begging for the explicit scenes and sex and violence to not be censored. After a nearly 2-year hiatus, the first episode of the final installment was made available for streaming on Tencent Video. At the same time it was released in the United States. Season 8 has been one of the most discussed topics on Chinese social media in the lead up to its release, with the hashtag related to the topic racking up more than 100 million views on Weibo.
Even the Chinese want to know what's going to happen with Game of Thrones.
Even
dude.
Chinese Premier Li Keqiang reportedly name dropped the show at the start of. So the Chinese, I didn't know that the Chinese people were super into Game of Thrones, but I guess they are. While the show's explicit sex scenes and violence are a key ingredient to its success, China's heavy-handed censors have repeatedly denied its citizens the most memorable moments of previous seasons. Disgruntled viewers in China have previously compared the significantly edited version to a medieval castle documentary.
Well, don't people in China love dragons? So I mean, isn't that kind of like a connection?
They love
right
sex and violence.
Well, I mean,
apparently.
I know every human loves
Who the
that.
fuck doesn't?
So I mean, like, I think it just has everything that Chinese people want.
Yeah, so I mean, like, hey, let the Chinese people see. I mean, like,
They want
obviously,
dragons, they want sex, and they want violence. Give it to them.
obviously, they're figuring out ways to see the uncensored version.
Yeah, of
anyway,
course,
but,
of course.
But
You guys, either of you guys into this Game of Thrones shit?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait for it to kind of like have a few episodes.
I'm
in
telling you,
before I check it
man.
out.
I like it, and me and Ashley have been into it, so we've seen them all
Same.
up until this. And like, we just a couple of nights ago watched this first episode. And I got to tell you, I liked it. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, but dude, it just feels like they hit the gas pedal so hard in the last 2 seasons.
Well, yeah, they're trying to get
did.
it out.
But I mean, like, what I'm talking about is like with how things unfold.
Right.
Oh,
It's like
I agree.
the earlier fucking episodes of
They develop
this
things
were
a lot
like
more.
a slow burn, and you spent a lot of time with these characters and blah 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 blah. Now it's just like, and this happened, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this character comes back, and this character's back, and this
Well,
character blah 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 blah
You know,
blah.
because they passed up the books.
Well, yeah, they only have like a little outline
Right.
to work from.
So they're basically like they're totally getting rid of the slow burn pace.
Well, here's the
of
thing, too.
The books in favor of just like getting it out, getting the
These
story
are
out.
these are hugely expensive to produce as well.
Right.
So I think it's HBO. I mean, like, look, they would keep this going forever. Really, let's be honest. If they could, it's just they're looking
I think
at the
they
reality.
could, but yeah, I mean, I can't imagine why
Oh,
they
there's gonna
wouldn't.
be
They-
there's gonna be spinoffs.
Yeah,
for sure.
they're spending a lot of money making these, but they've got to be making that back and then some with this fucking show. Literally everybody watches it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that isn't aware of it. It's like the biggest show right now. I just don't understand why the desire to fucking zip their way through it so quick. I just felt dizzy after the first episode. I was just like, this character, like there are characters that have been separated by
that
like
was
8 seasons.
That was a big issue with the last season for a lot of people, where they're just like, "Oh my god, the pace is like so fast."
I
compared
felt
to
it.
What happened?
Well,
before.
there were less shows too in the last season, so
Right.
they've gone with like, and there are fewer in this season than any season previous. I think there's only like 7 or 8 of these this
Right.
season, and
So
that's
they're
it.
just cramming them up.
So it's like every episode,
but
but the
It's
length
filled.
of the episodes are the same. They're all like an hour and a half long. So it's like what in normally would have been a 2-hour or hour and a half long episode in like a 26 episode season is now being done in 7.
so
and
it kind of
really
makes,
shows.
It kind of makes the series feel a little weird. Like at some point, it just switched to like a super abridged, condensed version.
I mean, at this point, it's working only because it's coasting on the strength of these already predefined characters.
right.
So, like, yeah, seeing all of them come back together and watching this stuff unfold is cool because you've been waiting for it, but I can't help but shake the feeling that it could have been done in a more grand and epic, sweeping way with a longer season.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, as this goes on, these people that are in the show, when they go to re-up their contract for another season, they demand more because they're becoming more and more like international megastars.
I mean, in China alone, 100 million mentions. I mean, here, probably,
these two
right.
people right here, especially, are like probably at the top of that list. Kit Carson, and I can't remember what her name is off the top of my head, but like both of these people are like everywhere they go, they're just mobbed.
mobbed. Oh, of course. I mean, this is the biggest show. Like, dude, I remember watching when the show was nothing. Like I saw from like the first season on. Like I went to some pirated site and I was like, and I never suspected the game. I was like, this is gonna be some show. It's gonna be cool, and I'll probably watch it. And who knows how long it's gonna last. And I never in a million years imagined this was gonna be the biggest fucking show on television.
It's a really good show, but I just worry a little bit about this ending.
It's rushed.
Yeah,
I think it's very rushed.
It's very rushed.
Well, I gotta say that I actually appreciate the increased pace because it was going too slow for me. So
You've never seen it.
Yeah. What do you mean I haven't seen it?
You just said you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen one.
You
I
said
haven't
you were going to wait for it all
Well,
to
no,
wrap
but I
up.
mean last season.
Oh, you've seen you've seen
I
up
watched
until this.
I watched. No, I didn't. I've watched seasons 1 and 2, and then I watched the last season.
Okay, got it.
So, because I got really bored after at the end of season 2, where I'm just like, this show is
Well,
like
I'll give it this.
super slow.
It
But
did
then
not-
when I heard that they increased the pace, and I went and checked that out, I'm like, fuck yeah, finally it's
But
moving
you
at
know
a
what?
reasonable speed.
You have to give it this. At least
So-
they didn't become the Walking fucking Dead.
Right.
Fucking
Yeah, I think it's smart for them to jettison out of this
Right,
before it
you
gets
know,
cringy.
But I mean, yeah, honestly, they probably could have spent a little more time. Because I think that there's probably a happy medium between the pace that I like and the pace that most people seem to want this show to be.
I imagined like a bigger grant because like so many arcs are coming to fruition now here in the final season.
Oh, yeah, of
like I
course.
said, people that have been separated by literally 8 seasons of content are coming together for the first time since the first season when some of them were children.
Right.
And now they're literal adults and they're seeing their characters are back in the same scene together, and it's just done like that happens 4 times I think in the first episode of the 8th season.
Hey, you haven't seen you in 8 years.
Haven't
All
seen
right,
you.
let's-
Oh my God, big hug. Oh my God, big hug. Oh my God,
let's-
intrigue. Oh my God, I don't know how to feel about you after all this time. That happens like 4 or 5 times in the first season or the first episode
First
of this,
episode, huh?
and it's just like wow, the culmination of all of that crazy slow burn buildup is.
Hey, no,
How you doing? Here's a hug.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Politico, Bill Weld. I'm in the GOP primary to beat Trump, not just weaken him.
you have no chance.
Look at this dork.
This guy.
You have no
He
chance.
looks like the low rent version of Donald Trump.
He kinda
dude.
does.
He really does.
He kind of looks like someone playing Trump in a fucking made-for-TV movie or something. Bill Weld, the Republican former governor of Massachusetts, who is mounting a primary challenge, that should be in quotes,
Yeah.
to President Donald Trump, insisted Wednesday he is running to win his party's presidential nomination, not just weaken Trump. Yeah, fucking right. Not in a billion years. You have no chance. That's what you got.
You have
No chance in hell.
Yeah, there's no support within the Republican Party for anyone to challenge Trump.
Trump, when you look at the Republican base,
Is
is
immensely popular.
massively, immensely, insanely popular. Republicans are not starved for some Trump alternative, okay?
No.
There's maybe a few establishment Republicans who hate Trump and want to see someone more mainstream.
Yeah, but even they're not
Lead the
dumb enough.
party.
They're not dumb enough to support this fucking loser.
This guy, this is going nowhere so fast. I can't even believe the level of delusion you would have to think you could do this. It's fucking insane.
Well, especially being this type of a politician too. It'd be one thing if he was like some young firebrand that was going to take that, heavy youth movement that was behind Donald Trump and give them somebody else to meme about. But this, like, just crusty old middle of the road fucking Republican nominee. Like, he even look in here. He's talking about he acknowledged winning in the South would be tough. Yeah, no shit.
Very fucking
A
tough.
Massachusetts fucking Republican coming down here, and like I'm telling you, there may be like weakening of Trump supports outside of the South, but living right down here and about as deep of the South as you can get, let me tell you, it ain't waning here.
No.
Everybody here loves Trump. They want more Trump, and ain't nobody from inside the party gonna fucking take that torch.
We all went to that fucking parade. They had a bunch of fucking kids walking with a fucking Trump.
Oh,
and,
dude.
And every time they walked by anyone, they'd be like, "Yeah, Trump! Fuck Hillary! Yeah!" I mean, like his support here is not weak.
Listen to this. Mr. Trump and California don't seem to get along well, he said. So I think there's promise there. Yeah, here's the problem with that. You're not gonna win. Like, California's not gonna go red in a general. Maybe you could fucking get California Republicans to do some kind of protest vote for you. Probably not.
Some of them might, but it ain't gonna be enough. Like, it
not
doesn't
gonna be enough
matter.
for you to win
California's
shit.
going blue. So your strategy is to campaign in blue states?
Yeah,
where
I'm gonna
Trump
get
has no
the-
chance of winning already,
I'm
and
gonna
neither
get-
do you.
Yeah, I'm going to get the Republicans in blue states to vote for me.
Oh, well, that would
that
work if
won't
they,
support me in a
Hey.
general election anyway.
that might work if the fucking whatever the fuck. God damn it, I'm brain farting. The electoral college wasn't a fucking thing. Yeah, if you were trying to drum up popular support by collecting up all these disaffected Republicans that feel that Trump is too far, if there was no electoral college and you were just talking about
There's
a
not
general
enough of them.
1-to-1 vote, there's not enough of them. This is just stupid.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you this motherfucker. Because, like,
He looks like a shoe.
yeah, dude.
He looks like an old leather shoe that you find in the back of your fucking closet when you're cleaning it out, and you
What's
go, God
that-
damn.
What's that fucking idiot who's trying to mount some kind of centrist independent campaign? The former Starbucks guy,
Oh yeah,
Howard
yeah.
Schultz.
Howard Schultz.
yeah.
He reminds me of that.
Dude, look at he's
Another
got a
equally
neck pussy
delusional
too.
Fuck. Yeah, he does. Look at that.
Look at that
Oh,
nunt
yeah.
he's got.
Maybe I can see it. Can we see it from the front?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, look at those nunt flaps.
Nunt flaps, neck pussy.
He's got a big nunt, dude. Look at it. I don't want to fuck Bill Weld's nunt now.
Give me that nut, boy.
Jesus, what
Bust
the
a
fuck?
nut in that nut.
Dude, there's no fucking way. Trump has a huge war chest. I mean, he has the popular support of the GOP. He's
It's
not going
fucking
anywhere. This
retarded
guy,
to think someone's gonna do that.
this guy is literally wasting his time.
Yeah. When you die, you know you're dead because your brain keeps working, scientist claims. This is Fox News, so take it with a massive grain of Paul. We know we are dead when we die because our brains keep working to make us aware of what's happening around us.
You're
Haunting
dead.
new research suggests.
By the way, you're dead.
Top medical experts have forever been at loggerheads over what happens when humans die, with anecdotal evidence of bright lights and flashes reported by people who have come back being the cause of much debate. However, a new study suggests your consciousness carries on functioning after your heart stops beating and your body movements fail. This means you are essentially trapped inside your dead body with your brain still working, if only for a short time.
Sweet.
Survivors of cardiac arrest were aware of what was going on around them while they were dead before being brought back to life, the study revealed. More surprising still, there is evidence to suggest the deceased may even hear themselves being pronounced dead by doctors.
Oh, great.
Wonderful.
Dr. Sam
Yeah, this fat
Harnia
schlub is dead.
is studying consciousness after death and examining cardiac arrest cases in Europe and the U.S. He says people in the first phase of death may still experience some form of consciousness. The expert ventured that people who have survived cardiac arrest later accurately describe what was happening around them after their heart stopped beating. He said they'll describe watching doctors and nurses working. They'll describe having awareness of full conversations, of visual things that were going on that would otherwise not be known to them. So, sounds pretty fun. Get to be dead for a minute, you know?
Man, dude, life is just such a horrible,
I
tragic
know, right?
mishap, dude. This is just like, thank you, science. Thank you for taking something that's already horribly fucking frightening and making it paralyzingly frightening.
Yeah, look at this schlub here. Yeah, he's fucking dead. Look at him. Oh, yeah, look at him. Yeah, he's
New
dead.
study shows that you can feel yourself rotting in your grave. It's like, oh, great.
Consciousness actually never ceases. It just
Ah, my
becomes
toes are rotting.
disembodied and horrible.
Maybe that explains zombies, dude.
Yeah, you never know.
Brains make the pain go away.
The pain of being dead.
Wonderful. Thanks, science.
Good old
Just tell me I'm
science.
dead and gone, and that's it. You're gone,
And my
buddy.
dumb ass wants to be cremated, too.
WorldNet Daily. This is a very, very right-wing publication.
No.
But it says Chase Bank shuts down alt-right accounts. Chase Bank is shutting down accounts of people and organizations with controversial political views, according to an undercover investigation by James O'Keefe's Project Veritas.
That's
O'Keefe's- yes.
the people that, like, do the
Yeah.
hit pieces on Planned Parenthood and shit, right?
Right, yes.
Okay.
So you got to take this with another giant mountain of you.
Yeah.
O'Keefe's latest probe found that Chase, without explanation, abruptly closed the account of a political activist that had existed for 15 years in good standing. Enrique Terrio, chairman of the Proud Boys activist group and owner of a website that sells provocative political merchandise, spoke to Chase representatives who could not explain why his business account was about to be terminated. Terrio recorded the calls and provided them to Project Veritas. Chase banker Marcel Smith told Terrio, I see nothing that indicates any reason why the account should be closed. I don't see any outstanding transactions or anything ridiculous. Smith noted that his bank typically gives its customers a reason for account closures. I've never seen them not give a response to someone whose account they had closed, the Chase employee said. But Project Veritas followed up and spoke with an employee working in Chase corporate global media relations who acknowledged the bank makes political judgments about its customers. So apparently they talked to someone at Chase who basically admitted that, yeah, it's because of the political viewpoints that this person had that we closed their account down despite it being in good standing otherwise. So what do you guys make of that? Do you think that financial institutions should weigh in on politics?
I mean, assuming that see, here's the problem with this kind of story.
Right.
We could sit here and weigh in on it, but we don't know that this isn't just another Project Veritas hoax. That he didn't have his bank account removed for some other delinquency, because all of that is protected information. You can't call Chase and go, "Hey, what happened to Enrique Terrio's account?" They're not allowed to tell you.
Yeah, they're not going to tell you
Right.
anything.
So it's like we're all going on the presupposition that this guy's account was taken down for nefarious reasons,
Right.
Without any evidence that that's the case, other than Gavin McInnes and the Proud Boys covering it.
Well,
so,
it says that there's a recording of the conversation.
right,
with
this is what they
the
do.
bank
They called some
employee.
low-level fucking bank employee who's going to
I'm
say
sorry,
anything.
I don't know.
Probably makes money on commissions for accounts, and is going to tell this dude anything. And that's supposed to be evidence of a
Right.
large silencing campaign by these big banks against political things. When we see evidence of that, I'll have a position on it.
Okay.
Until then, like this
So-
Project Veritas shit, all you had to tell me was that they were involved with this for my bullshit alarm to go off.
Right.
Because they are literally completely fabricate shit and selectively edit shit and take things out of context to fit a narrative. And why would I believe that they're not doing that here?
So it looks like when they called the Chase representative, they pretended to be on the opposite side of the
Yeah.
issue to kind of get the.
I don't want to bank where Trump banks, or I don't want to bank where
Right,
it looks like Steve Bannon.
Bannon's the one that he's like. They asked him like, oh, I don't want to bank where Steve Bannon does. Is there any way you guys like have countermeasures against that? And the Chase is like, definitely, yeah, we got that. But Chase would easily lie to get your business. So
Yeah,
that doesn't
it's like
necessarily.
if you walk into a fucking car sales place and go like, "Hey, I want to buy this Ferrari, but I want to make sure this isn't the type of place that would serve Donald Trump, is it?"
Maybe like,
Of course,
no.
that guy's gonna be like, "Fuck no! Donald Trump walked in here, I'd slap his face. You want to buy this car now?"
Yeah,
I mean, this
so
is
that's
fucking
kind of
retarded.
$135,000.
This is the
kinda
type.
leading.
This is the type of shit that whips up tiny-brained right wingers.
But I mean, just so assume that there's some validity to this, though.
I mean, look, I have heard.
What would you
I
think-
heard PayPal and other
Right.
things deplatforming people.
What would
or
you think
removing
about?
them
Like,
from
what do you
the
think
ship
about that?
Okay.
Like, just the general, like, putting this aside. What would you?
So
think, what do you
assuming
think about
this
the
isn't just a total fantasy, then
I mean, let's
I
just-
don't think that any company should be able to deny somebody service based on their fucking political beliefs.
Of course not.
That is a clear attack on their freedom of speech and expression. It's creating two different worlds. So now Trump supporters can't walk into the same businesses as non-Trump support. It just makes no sense. It's a completely nonsensical thing if that is indeed what is happening here.
Right. Okay. So Naval Academy will bar transgender students in fall of 2020. Annapolis, Maryland. A lot of Maryland stories today. The U.S. Naval Academy will ban people who are transgender from attending the school beginning with the 2020 school year. The Defense Department confirmed the policy change to the Capital Gazette on Monday. The school in Annapolis, Maryland, currently accepts transgender students and retains midshipmen who transition to another gender. The change follows a policy shift under the Trump administration to bar people who are transgender from serving in the military. The new policy applies to students who enrolled in the 2020 and 2021 school year and beyond. The Obama administration lifted restrictions on transgender service members in 2016.
You got that picture of Trump holding up that gay pride flag
Yeah,
anywhere?
I can get it for you.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that. Here you go. There you go. Any stupid fucking gay people that thought that they were voting for Trump to get, their rights expanded or to get equal rights. Here you go. The true colors come shining through.
Yeah, here he is.
It turns out the only color on that rainbow that he represents is the orange. The rest of it,
LGBTs for Trump.
Yeah,
Well,
there you
Trump
go.
ain't for the T's, at least. Maybe he's okay with the LGB. I don't know.
well,
Definitely not cool with the
some
T.
of the LGBs aren't cool with the T's.
Yeah, that's true. There are what are they
Trans
called?
exclusionary.
TERFs. Trans exclusionary radical feminists.
you
Many
never
of whom
know.
are lesbians and other alternative sexuality.
You never do know. But there you go. That's politics in a nutshell.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hug this flag in front of you to get your vote.
I'll be up front. When I saw Trump do this, I was like, "That's kind of cool." See a Republican
course you did.
president holding up the rainbow.
Everybody
flag.
did. That's one of the reasons why his candidacy was so pernicious and why it stuck in people's minds, because he was doing shit like this on the can.
It's like, wow, he's
And yeah.
a different kind of Republican. Maybe he's not.
No, he's not.
His actions speak much louder than his symbolic gestures, and unfortunately, that was an instance where I was definitely a little duped
and it's
by
so
that
crazy.
guy.
It's so crazy. That's such a wedge issue too, because to be honest with you, the number of people who are transgender that want to attend the Naval Academy is really
The
small.
number of
remarkably
transgender
small.
people already, just in general, is tiny.
yeah.
The number of them that want to add on top of that, I'm going to join the military is fucking
a place that
tinier
they're,
still.
that they're really not going to be accepted for the most part.
right.
So,
But you know, I
I
mean,
see no reason, if they're physically capable of doing the job, of allowing to disallow them from fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, there
serving.
was
well, and the military is actually changing their standards. I think so. It's not even gonna. They're not even going to have physical fitness tests based on
So
whether
there was
you're male
gays.
or female.
Right. If
There
there's-
was gays in there. There was the same thing when it was gays in the military was the big issue. I remember a Bill Hicks routine making fun of this and just saying anyone dumb enough to want to be in the military should be let in.
Yeah.
It's like the argument is basically like I don't want no queers next to me when I'm bombing villages and
Yeah,
shit.
what?
You know, like it's such a strange moral paradigm. You know, yeah. I mean, like, who cares what genitalia the person next to you has as you're, mowing down a fucking village?
Or what gender they feel they are.
Yeah.
Like, why does that matter?
Well, that's not even all the military does. A lot of it's logistics and other boring.
No,
shit,
Scotty,
dude.
they just go around
They're
killing
just-
innocent people.
I
That's
mean,
all they
it's-
do.
killers.
It's a lot of this shit is just like, dude, it's minutia, it's bullshit, dude. It's like, oh, you gotta sort mail. It's like a lot of this shit is just boring.
Well, this is
Yeah.
all just Trump
and that's what
storing
Trump's
up-
trying to do. He's trying to sort who's male and who's not.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. No, this is obviously bullshit. And yeah, the military does do more than just murder innocent people. But that's a very vivid example of something they do and that they're okay with. So.
Yeah, they facilitate the murdering of
Well, yeah,
innocent
they do.
people,
I mean,
too.
all the logistics.
There's all that goes into it.
Online pornography age checks to be mandatory in UK from 15th of July.
Uh-oh.
Happy birthday, Scotty.
Hey, I'm July 16th.
I know. The UK's age verification system for online pornography will become mandatory on 15th of July, the government has confirmed. From that date, commercial providers of online pornography will be required to carry out a robust age verification checks on users in order to keep children from accessing adult content. Websites that refuse to implement the checks face being blocked by the UK internet service providers or having their access to payment services withdrawn. The digital minister, Margot James, welcomed the introduction of the rules, saying adult content is currently far too easy for children to access online.
Well, how are they going to restrict it though?
They're not. I mean, like, it's not going to work.
You have to click a thing saying you're 18 because
Where were the parents at? Where were the parents at? Why do these kids have unrestricted and unfettered access to the internet? Could it be
government-
that the parents allow them to have it?
The government can't stop this.
No, they won't stop it either.
The introduction of mandatory age verification is a world first, and we've taken the time to balance privacy concerns with the needs to protect children from
This is going to be a
inappropriate
flaming
content.
failure.
This is
by the
not
way.
going to work. Hey, you know what? The problem is that your kids are better at technology than you are.
Yep.
They understand what a fucking VPN
You're about
is,
10 years behind this problem.
and they're gonna fucking find all kinds of
can
avenues
download,
to get pornography.
Opera
that have
comes with
nothing
a
to do with this
built-in
shit.
fucking VPN.
Right.
It's not even something that
It's not
requires
even-
any technical expertise anymore.
Right, so it's just super easy.
It's gonna
Click a
barely
button
an
and now you're in the
inconvenience.
U.S.
Yep.
Enjoy your porn. It's just so stupid that they're even trying this. What a waste of funds for people in the UK that could have been used on what I assume are a number of fucking problems in sore need of cash.
Yeah, and so what? I mean, like, I looked at porn when I was growing up. Even before the internet, you just fucking looked in your fucking dad's secret
There was
porn
no
stash or
keeping
whatever.
you. There was no keeping a fucking dedicated. There might have been a time where it was impossible. There, I can guarantee
Yeah, like
you there was
before porn existed,
right.
maybe.
But even then, the definition of what was pornographic changed, dude. There were generations of dude that jerked off to the underwear ads in Macy's catalogs.
right.
Or novels, dude. They'd have the stories about
Yep.
like, ooh, this
And then
woman
she
got
touched
naked.
his cheek. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Porn is
Scandalous.
and always will be consumed by anybody who has the heart and desire and will and drive to go seek it out. And these fucking censors in the UK are not going to stamp out the young generation's desire to watch people fuck.
Oh.
It's not going to happen.
Remember that fucking law they wanted to pass, or they might have passed, TJ, where it's like you had to call your ISP to
Yeah,
fucking
that did not happen.
turn on your porn. You made that
Turn
video
on the
like,
porn.
do you want your porn turned on? Oh, yeah. Oh, please. It's like the UK has done so much to combat internet pornography, and none of it's worked. It's a waste of time. Come on, let's just move on.
Waste
with
of
this issue.
time, waste of money.
Just let us watch them titties. Just
Let
get
us
over
see
it.
them titties flopping about. That is what we want. There is no doubt. And that's all the stories I have. So
Really? That's it?
not too bad of a news day.
Well, it wasn't too bad, I guess.
There was some stuff in there we had some fun with. But, I'm still waiting for that big event to happen. I'm still waiting for Pakistan to nuke India or something
I was
crazy.
telling you, man, I'm feeling it. You remember when I came over
Paul
here today.
feels it in the air. Do you feel it in the air, Scotty? The big story on the horizon?
There's
I feel it, dude.
there's a restlessness, like a static
I'm
electricity
going
in
with,
the
though,
air.
I'm going with mass shooting, though.
That's not even a big story anymore. Unless it's like 500
It
people.
could be
It could be a mass shooting.
a bombing, a terrorist attack, a
Ooh,
new
terrorist
war,
attack?
a big tech announcement,
gotta
or
have,
a
like-
big merger announcement,
We gotta have
something
like
big.
a pool, dude. We gotta have the thing where it's like we got to throw a dart and be like, okay, Paul, you get terrorist attack. TJ, okay, TJ, you get nuclear attack. Scotty, you get bioterrorism attack.
Yeah, let's play What's Gonna Happen Bingo.
I'm going to say dirty bomb in Times Square, dude.
Damn.
Oh.
That's a hard
Wow.
bet.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
What do you think, Paul?
Paul, he told you.
Yeah, I kind of think it's gonna be like a terrorist attack.
Well, you got to be. I was very specific. You got to be more specific.
That's your dumbass fucking idea was to be specific. I don't have to be. There was no rules
specific.
laid down. I
All
don't
right.
remember signing no
Be
contract
Pacific,
with you
Paul.
about
Be
no rules.
Pacific, Paul
Like
Zico.
the ocean.
You ain't got the balls.
I think maybe
To
there's
be
gonna be some
pacifical.
terrorism on the horizon, or maybe I don't know. Maybe
gonna be terrorism that happens.
Maybe Elon Musk is gonna announce that he invented the world's perfect sex robot. Something's gonna shake things up.
Something's coming. What do you think,
I
Scotty?
haven't-
What's gonna happen?
I think you're gonna get nuked, TJ.
I'm gonna be nuked.
They're gonna
personally.
fucking drop a nuke right on you.
Cool.
And TJ was no more.
And then he died.
I gotta start chilling with TJ more because I want to be right in that blast.
right in the blast.
Oh,
radius.
Paul, you can be riding the nuke down, dude.
Coming for you, TJ.
Boom.
TJ be like, what's that sound?
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. See you next Wednesday with some more
See
Flash
ya
Friday.
laters.
Thank you for supporting us, patrons. We love you.
Fuck
Goodbye.
you, TJ. You're worthless.